Hello Cancer, Cancer Rising and Cancer Moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week starting May 29th, 2017. And a quick reminder for all of you Cancer people out there, if you are interested in getting a session with me, you do need to go to my website, integrativemysticism.com. So what is going on with your astrology this week? Well, in the beginning of the week, we do have a bit of a tense angle, and a lot of things seemed a little bit tense this week, so we're just going to have to, again, tough through it. Now, we've got Mars, planet of action and energy, in your 12th house of your past, your privacy, your hidden zone, forming an opposition to Saturn, currently retrograde, in your 6th house of work, reputation, your schedule, and how you are known to the world. And when we have Mars opposite Saturn retrograde Cancer, it's extremely important to make sure that if you are having a conflict with somebody or a fight with somebody, that you do keep it a bit more discreet. There may be a temptation to let it go out in the open, to blow it up, to let it be known. But a public display or a public fight or a public argument or a public blowout with this person is not going to be a good look for you. Whether you're right, whether you're wrong, it does not matter. On Wednesday, we've got Mercury, planet of communications, in your 11th house of friendships and social networking, forming a lovely connection to Pluto, currently retrograde, in your 7th house of committed partnerships and your closest one-on-one relationships. And we have an opportunity to rebond and reconnect with somebody that we used to be this close to, whether it's rebonding with a current romantic partner or possibly even getting back together with somebody that used to be just a crush that we never had a chance to actually try things out with. This could also be the reunion between you and an old best friend that you used to have from way back in the day, and a chance to reconnect again, rebond with stronger glue this time around. So what is going on with your cards then this week? Well, for your spiritual advice, we do have the card of Duira. And Duira indicates a need to pay attention to where we are needing to readjust or maybe redistribute our love and affection and the energy we put into things in a way that's more fair and more equitable. Find out where things might be atrophying a little bit this week because we've been putting too much of our energy in one spot to the detriment of another. Sometimes it's pretty plain to see when work is getting all of our time and energy, but maybe our social life is suffering a little bit. Maybe our romantic life has, dominated all of our priorities and it's starting to interfere with work or relationships with family. Maybe we've even just been not necessarily dividing our energy and our time between our kids fairly. This week, it may be abundantly clear that it's time to redistribute in a different way, so we have a more equally divided pie chart when it comes to our life, because the Duira card is saying it's about learning to be a better nourisher and nurturer in that way. So, if you've been playing favorites, or maybe you're not playing favorites, maybe it's completely by accident, or maybe it's absolutely necessary because what somebody's been going through, you still need to rebalance it when you have, when all is said and done. For your Earth sector, when it comes to work and finances, we've got the Nine of Pentacles reversed. Now, interestingly enough, this can be a good card, but I want you to pay attention to where somebody's giving you too many freebies or too much good and not telling you the catch right away. Okay? Whether you're looking for a new job or you're currently employed, there is an opportunity to get a lot of, let's just say, free lunches, but we know sometimes there's no such thing. And you may be finding that you are indebting yourself to somebody for favors or responsibilities that you had no intention of or maybe could not fulfill at this point in time in your work and in your career. Now that doesn't mean we can't take all of them, but we don't want to treat it like a lucky streak and just take it as far as it will go. Because the Nine of Pentacles reverse can indicate, again, some ill-gotten gains. Now, whether it's ill-gotten gains that we have to pay, not ill-gotten because you did something wrong to get it, but ill-gotten more like ill-given. And there is a chance, again, that we will be getting some extra cash, some extra hours, and possibly even a new job out of it, but we don't want to see how much we can milk, because all we're taking, because at some point somebody's going to try and get you to pay the piper you didn't know was writing all of this down. So, just be careful. I mean, all in all, it's still good, as long as you can trust yourself, I think you'll be okay. For your communications with air, when it comes to your friends, your relatives, the others in your life, we've got the Ace of Swords reversed. And it looks like somebody needs some reassurance this week. Somebody thinks that you may have cut them off when you did not. And this is a good week to kind of correct that. Maybe you've noticed that somebody, like a friend or a relative, is not necessarily calling, maybe they're not emailing very much. Somebody may have gotten the wrong impression that you've actually shut the door on them. Maybe they thought you were upset, maybe they thought you weren't happy, maybe they, for some reason they thought they did something to offend you. And usually with the Ace of Swords reversed, we just see somebody thinking that they're at a red light when they're not at a red light, or somebody not taking the initiative and not spearheading the initiative to see what is actually wrong, or where they might not be doing the math correctly. Again, when we look at that doer card, maybe it has to do with the fact that we've been wrapped up with other things, but this person took it a bit more personally than they probably should have. But we have an opportunity to, again, to rebond and reconnect anyway. And that's the important thing to remember. When it comes to your challenges this week with fire, we do have the Hangman upright. And the Hangman upright is kind of interesting because it's also talking about leaving people to their own devices and taking your hands off of things when we need to. Okay, this whole week seems to be talking a lot about Cancer people being maybe way too hands-on with certain people, but not hands-on with other people. And this week it's talking about taking your hands off. Maybe we've been helicopter parenting a little bit. Maybe we've been helicopter boyfriending or helicopter girlfriending this week. Maybe we've been in a situation where we've been trying, we've noticed we've gotten so involved in another person's doings that it's time for us to see if they can still handle it on their own. And they may be used to you kind of helicopter whatevering, but the Hangman is also saying bowing out for a little bit, taking a bit of a tactful withdrawal, in order to actually observe from a distance, or again, let that little bird learn to fly, or let that, let that person learn to ride without training wheels is very important. And I think with the Hangman upright, that could also mean not fighting their battles for them. Okay, because, there might be a situation where you've gotten used to that. But again, at some point in time, we're not helping anymore. We're not even hurting, we're just not pushing anything along. So, don't be afraid to be hands-off. When it comes to your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Hermit card upright. Interestingly enough, this card can be a really nice card for those of you who are currently looking for a new love, because you will find love, but this person may be a little bit of a quiet introvert. This person's going to be a little bit different. You're going to meet them in a different way. You're going to meet them personally, one-on-one. This may be something where you're kind of set up, where you're maybe put in a situation where you're working one-on-one besides this person. We're stuck in the elevator bit with this person. We're kind of isolated away from the crowd, so to speak. So, it's interesting that with the Hermit card upright, it's almost like you meet this person yourself, obviously, but, what's going to happen is something may be contrived, or you meet somebody one-on-one that you could actually have a very strong chemistry with. It's almost like fate orchestrates a situation where the two of you are put in the same place at the same time, just the two of you. And you may want to actually consider where that could go. For those of you who are currently coupled, the Hermit card upright says that you and your partner will be orchestrating a way for the two of you to get some one-on-one time this week. And you may be actually deciding to form, you come to the same conclusion about maybe even taking some space from some people that we both realize don't belong in our social support system anymore. With the Hermit card, if we're upright, if you've been worried about bringing up that discussion with your partner about, maybe we don't necessarily care for a certain friend or a neighbor, or a certain relative's been over too much, or somebody, that I don't like this, he's just kind of, he's kind of obnoxious, he's kind of annoying, or I don't really care for her, she seems like a bad influence on our kids or whatever, you will both reach the same conclusion and be able to, step forward with your plan of action on how to, to adjust that. So if you've been keeping that under your hat for too long, don't worry. It looks like your partner's come to the same conclusion. So that is your horoscope, Cancer. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.